There were a lot of prototypes this week. Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. It's time for the weekly Demo Shop Mod Collection update. And we're actually going to start in the UK today, because they had a very interesting 59 reissue in dark amber finish for €7,400. It's not like we haven't seen this color before, but the unique figuring just speaks to me on this one. I mean, look at that super wide flames going on, but then at the very bottom, you have this interesting formation. It's kind of like a mountain. It also kind of vaguely reminds me of like a piranha swimming directly at you. Or if there's any Luigi's Mansion fans out there, it kind of reminds me of Bogmire. And we are getting into that Halloween season, and the orange is like a pumpkin. And from this photo, it looks like it's a complete gloss refinish. But as far as the headstock, they reamed it for Grover's, Gibson USA truss rod cover. But now the back, I'm kind of surprised by. We actually have a honey stinger on this one. So you have that kind of darker look on the body, but then you move up to the neck where it's a bit more golden, natural mahogany, until eventually you get this design. That one was pretty cool. But next up, the very interestingly named Purquoise Burst. I like that name, turquoise mixed with some purple, because you just have it lightly around the edge. The rest of it's just kind of a metallic blue, and you get your gold hardware with reflector knobs. Doesn't look like they went crazy with our headstock, and all things considered, left it pretty basic on the back. And then for €2,700, a Plum Sparkle on a 61 SG. Looks like they opted for the Satin refinish this time, just kind of a bluish purpley hue, but it works well with the chrome hardware. You got your vibrola and your reflector knobs. Glucin style tuners up top. But this one has been refretted. We've been seeing a lot of those the past couple of weeks. We can confirm that down here, although they don't tell us what size the new frets are. They don't look all that different though, maybe just a bit bigger. And the back is matching the top. Continuing on, we've got a metallic green 80s Explorer. Just needs some zebra stripes on it in black and then it'd be awesome. But it looks rather tame with our covered humbuckers, so perhaps that would speak to somebody more so than the ebony and white finishes currently offered. Although in reality, it's really only the ebony that you can get at this point in time. But whoa, Spearmint Satin 70s Flying V. This is a little bit more my style. For €2,700, it's a bit of a freak, but at least it gives it identity. You've got the white binding on the neck because of the stylings that they're going after here. Then they give you these creamy looking pickup covers around your uncovered pickups. And then that's like a custom multi-ply pick guard, so that just changes everything. I'm not going to say it's the most attractive, but it does something. And that's what I like about the mod collection. They dare to be different. Like normally I would expect this to have a white truss rod cover, but having the primary black layer certainly stands out. But it looks like this is one of those like semi-gloss finishes, more so on the satin territory. But it reminds me so much of taffy. But the back is completely matching. And we've been seeing this a lot lately. The old style Gibson USA cases. They must have found a warehouse that had the old ones stockpiled. But now let's see what the USA side of things were up to. They had a dirty Pelham. For $3,200, they give you a slightly darker Pelham blue, but you get the uncovered pickups. But it looks like they went for custom bucker pickups with the added chrome TP6 tailpiece and a really nice dark rosewood fretboard. But whoa, was not expecting that. This looks like it's an incredibly dark red back. We'll adjust the contrast so you can see it here. And that also reveals that it indeed has a black stinger. But you've got to know to be looking for that. They also threw on some locking Grovers. I can see why that one sold. Next up, you're a wizard, Harry. Wow, that is something to take in. So super ultra sparkly. They almost have the Epiphone Batwing headstock going on over here. But even your pickguard has the black sparkles. That's a really cool Explorer Custom. But speaking of Explorer Custom, somebody actually New Guitar did an interesting sparkly one. So we'll see that on the show this upcoming week. But they also threw witch hat knobs on here. Left it with chrome hardware, which I feel works with all the sparkliness. Nice, even a sparkly headstock. I was curious if they were gonna go crazy on the back, but they just left it red, including spraying over your backplate. Again, not surprised that one sold. But then Metallic Money follows that up for $2,300. It's kind of a silverish gray hue with just a little bit of green mixed in here. Personally, I'm not getting a lot of the money vibes, but the cream plastics and gold helps make the binding pop. Then wow, things really do brighten up back here. When you get the light shining on it, they put the Moto backplates, and they gave you the pearl-tipped tuners. But okay, all right, they gave you another sparkly headstock on this one. I feel that kind of helps it, but it's still available if you're interested. But then we've got another fun one, Rockin' Rhubarb. But not just any Rockin' Rhubarb, it's punk. Okay, I was expecting it to be red, but no, it's more of like that purpley color. Non-pole piece exposed pickups. Still custom buckers. Headstock got the blackout treatment with the regular Glucin tuners. And then it's looking like a black back. However, I could be wrong on that. but this one is Destroyed serial number 173. But how do you feel about the Forest Jewel for a small premium? Certainly not the worst one we've seen this week, but this is a modern studio, so it definitely gives you a much different flair than what those are typically being offered as. Gold hardware, but they went for the 496R 500T pickup set. It does have the black binding, again, it's just hard to see. I kind of like this one, especially the back being completely matching. But then they also had a Custom Shop 61 reissue. For $5,000, you'd have Super Red Sparkle all over the face of this one. And for $4,900, you also get it all over the back. And then, whoa, light purple overspray on the top. Then last week, somebody said, hey, why didn't you mention this truss rod cover? That's an old Gibson Memphis part. They used to put those on the semi-hollows. So they're either ordering them just to make it special again, which Gibson gets most of their stuff from advanced plating if you want to make similar modifications, or they just found leftover stock and are using them up. That purple logo thing is kind of weird now that I know to look at it in this wide shot. But whoa, didn't see this. You're capturing my first impressions this week because I was out having fun the day that these came out. Once again, big thank you to Ingo for capturing all these for me. We've got 70s Flying V, Caffe Metallic. First thing that catches my attention is the headstock. It's not the exact style of a 70s Flying V, but at least it's rounded over. If you want to check out a real 70s Flying V, we just recently documented one. But this looks like one of the Japan proprietary versions that they did, because they also utilized this 2-screw truss rod cover. But it looks like it's a 3-piece neck. And if we flip over to the back, it also kind of looks like that. However, I'm wondering if that's just painted on. I would imagine it is, but I could be wrong. Because in the next specs, they don't say anything about how many pieces. But then you come down here, it's got the ABR1 bridge. They slapped one of the Maestro Vibrolas on it. They don't normally have that. So it's kind of like blending late 60s with the 70s elements. And you get covered pickups. But wow, $5,300 is insanely expensive. Because I don't think this is actually a custom shop V. Because you used to be able to pick one of these up for around $2,000. Now, sometimes they will sell for a little bit more. Yeah, that's looking about correct. Although I'm not seeing the serial number, so it's possible I'm wrong on that. Because if it is custom shop, the price would make sense. I mean, they're even giving you the custom shop Flying V style case. But they're saying it's from 2022. I'm just confused on that one. But to wrap things up in the mod collection, we've got the 50 Standard in Cool Lagoon for $29. It found a home rather quickly. That's because it's like a blue and black mixture here, maybe with a little bit of green. Let's adjust the contrast, maybe that'll help you see it. Like that dark rosewood fretboard on it. And then the back, again, kind of hard to tell if it's black or just a really dark blue, but you get your cream back plates. So overall, a pretty decent week, but now let's check in with our demo shops. Only the USA side uploaded this week. But look at all the prototypes. Gibson had the idea to dump pretty much every Kramer and Epiphone Dave Mustaine prototype at the same time. And unfortunately, they're not selling too quickly. Now, that doesn't mean they didn't sell any of them. They actually sold 3 of the green ones, but that's because they sold out quickly. But you might notice something different between these. Some of the prototypes have a stenciled outline, whereas the production ones have it all filled in. Which I didn't know that these were discontinued. It must have been a limited edition in this finish. We did document it if you want to check it out. Unfortunately, that one met a untimely fate and had to be repaired. But if you go to Kramer's website, you can actually see you can buy his Vanguard model now cheaper than when it was first introduced. They're down from $1,300 to $1,000 brand new, but the stock production ones kept the filled-in silhouette. Now, we could take the time to look through all these, but as far as I could tell, that was the only difference. Some of them have the newer silhouette before it was approved. For example, there were 2 filled-in blacks, and then we have 1 silhouette. And then here's one of the Epiphone ones. I like this one because the proto was very easy to read on it, but there is still at least 1 green one at the time of recording that's a filled-in. But here's a silver silhouette. The gist of things here, if you're gonna buy one of these thinking, oh, maybe future value, get one of the ones that is as different as possible to the production, especially if you're going to be paying the original retail price. And try to buy the ones that have the really clear prototype stamps. Like this one, you can hardly even tell. But it looks like they might have did a similar thing with the Epiphone versions as far as having a filled in versus non. But they're out there if you happen to be interested in them. However, ultimately, I think Gibson should have released these maybe 1 or 2 at a time per week, because then maybe there would have been more interest. But they also had a regular Dave Mustaine from the Gibson lineup for $2,300. It felt apropos to tell you about. They also had one of his songwriters for $3,000 if you're looking for all the fret options on an acoustic. That's this model's claim to fame, 24 frets, which is just crazy. And of course, you get your skull dude. But as far as regular stuff, there was a Tobacco Burst SG Standard. I thought it looked pretty good with your zebra bobbin pickups, kind of a lighter fretboard, but then you get your HP UFO style knobs on it. I'm a big fan of the modern SG Standards. I think they're fun. But I was really impressed by this, a Dirty Lemon Burst Standard 60s. For $2,400, that has a really good top to it. This is just a great color. And for that price, I think it's worth picking up. But then they also had a 70s Explorer. It's just the ebony finish, $1,800. I mean, it's an okay price if you're in the market for one of these. However, what was very strange about this one is not the chewing up of the binding, but look at the nut. What happened to that? Looks like there's just a whole bunch of trash in the finish, because at first I thought, okay, it's like some sort of a stained bone nut. But looking at it from the top, no, it's not. So something happened there. Then they had one of those cool 62 ebony block reissue SGs. These are Gibson.com exclusives. They're aged, so mean to pick one up for that price. If you're in the market for it, it was an alright deal, as they're normally $8,000. They also had this doofy thing. Look, Hummingbird Original, $3,200, but there's no Hummingbird pick guard on it. That frustrates me. If I want a Hummingbird, I want the bird on it. But to be fair, the back is quite nice in kind of a unique orange color with a 2024 serial number. They also sold an Ebony Les Paul Jr. Basically, they just blacked it out. I'm kind of surprised that one sold as quick as it did for $1,500. But then lastly, this was a no-brainer for someone, $23, for the exclusive dark purple burst, but that has a really nice wide flame top. That is a good one. If you're interested in seeing one of these in the flesh, I've actually done a few different videos on the dark purple burst finish. But it looks like this one had to have a new nut. Alright, Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed the recap this week. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, consider subscribing. I post videos like this every day. And you might even enjoy this next one.